It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
What's up, everybody? It's Blake with Blake's Buzz. I mean, one day I'm gonna have someone else come in and do this intro and just freak everybody out. It's gonna be amazing. I have some. There we go. I had a YouTube video open on a tab, and I was talking to myself in the head. That was very wow. I am just discombobulated now. Discombobulated. What a word, right? I bet a writer would appreciate that. Luckily, I got a cool one on tonight who's got a cool job, editor-in-chief at a cool boutique publisher. ASAP Imagination. I love the name. I'm really stoked. I've known her for a while, and I've watched her, like, she's accumulated a cool following. She does a lot of cool little cons, has a lot of cool little projects going all the time. Very, very excited to talk indie comics with Laurie Cunningham. What's up, Laurie? How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
so happy to have you. Thanks for coming by. Also, thanks for I had to reschedule this. You were very cool about that. Really appreciate it. We got already people in the chat saying we had Tim, or the time scales. Tim, if his name is Tim, maybe I don't know. Tim, the time scales. I don't know.
I know some of these guys.
The time scales. It was in just waiting for us to go live, saying hey from San Francisco. Happy to have you. Rick Carlson's in the house. What's up, Rick? Everybody. Everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As I've said, Laurie's done some cool stuff with comics, and do you have your own? Are you still doing your own show? Do you still do like the kind of drinking, drawing deal?
No, not right now. We decided to shut that down so we can move on to other things. We just got a lot going on.
Okay.
So decided to shut that down so we can focus on some things for a while, and maybe I'll do something in a bit. But it's busy. Like, we got the Kickstarter this month, and I got like a con at the end of the month, and then another one the following weekend, and then personally, it's like tax season here. So, like, there's just like too much. So it's just like at some point you're just like, I gotta like, we gotta prioritize some things and stuff and make more time. Plus, I got like 2 little kids, and
you're a mom too. Yeah. It's because I was about to say, like, no, I get it. Like, having a show gets to be a lot. Even when you don't do a lot of planning, there's still a lot more planning and stuff than a lot of people think. It's, if you're a good host, you're dumping energy into it, and it's like and then you had to come in, because I was like, oh yeah, no, I get that, I know what you're talking about, and then you're like, yeah, I got 2 kids. I'm like, nope, all right, yeah, that's way more exhaustion. I'm out of this conversation. Nothing. I can bring nothing.
That's relatable. Oh,
I was like, I can bring nothing to this table anymore. Like, I was tired after a long day today. Well, so was I, Blake. I had to go home to 2 little gremlins and make sure they didn't set the house on fire. Okay, yeah, no, I got to.
Yeah, literally.
I love following you on social media too. You have usually all my friends have kids. I'm like the lone single guy. There's a couple single guys left, but I mean, even some of the single guys like have kids too. But I was like, I don't have kids. I'm single, and so like, my friends. Some of my friends have cool kids, and they're getting older now, right? So like, I can talk Ninja Turtles and X-Men with them, or the new movie, and it's fun. But I'm also like, it's like, I'm not one of those people that's always like, oh yeah, like I love that you posted like what your kids had for breakfast today, but like, what a cool, I'm like, but you're like raising children posts are all like, your kids say real fucking funny stuff, and like, I don't know, like, you're following you on social media is fun. Like, you have a really nice attitude. You're very like, focused on comics, focused on being positive. You're a good voice in the indie community, and it shows. I mean, like, you've got you're going on 15,000 followers, or did you break it now? You're getting there.
I'm still in the 12s. Well, obviously, like, the whole like Twitter bio.
Yeah.
There was a huge exodus.
Screwed all of our rises to fame.
Yeah, I was on my way to hundreds of thousands of people, and then
Same, right?
I would have been so Twitter famous by now. Now I'm mediocre. But no, it's been supportive, and like, I don't know, like, I had a few little like I think maybe 2 tweets that kind of like went viral, and of course you like pick up a few things, but they weren't even like comic book related. All of a sudden it like goes viral, and you're like, just slide some promotions under there. And then no one buys it because it hits like a weird part of Twitter, and you're like, whatever. But yes, you get like random influxes of followers, but it's been pretty consistent.
Nice.
Now I'm in comics, and like, how many people are into comics? I don't know. I assume we have a limit, but it's growing, so who knows?
Yeah, there's what's weird is now there's like everybody's like everywhere, because there's like Blue Sky is like where there's more comic book, like there's industry scene people on Blue Sky, not as many like fans and like people to promote to necessarily. So like, I don't know, like, so Blue Sky is kind of a weird place. But like Threads is still like the comic scene on Threads is doing pretty well. Like,
it's all over the place, and I feel like I'm like, Twitter was my comfort zone, and now I'm like, learning new things.
I'm with you.
Not into that.
As fun as it is to like post the same thing like 5 different times everywhere.
Oh my God.
And then realize that like you posted the wrong link, or there's a real bad typo, then you got to go delete it 5 fucking times and redo it. That's my life, folks. It's great. No, but so on top of raising the kids and making the comics and being a writer, and you do a lot of like, we're doing like a lot of local shows. Like you would go to like brewery kind of art shows and like places that like cool places. Like I wish cool restaurants and pubs and stuff here did like little tiny art shows and community focused stuff. Like you have a good eye for like, do you just live in a cool community, or do you like nerd out like hunting this stuff down?
I don't know. Like, so the brewery thing, so there's a brewery here called Zero Issue, which is like fully comic book themed.
Whoa.
Like you go there and there's like a library of comics you can just read while you're there, and they have like board games and stuff, and they like do like Dungeons and Dragons.
I would.
They do like Dungeons and Dragons nights, and like they're like a really cool place. So they were like an obvious place to reach out to, and like when we released the Points of Villainy trilogy, like the single issues, like the Kickstarter's the trade version of it. That was like the first kind of promo for it, and I like went there, and there wasn't a ton of people there, but like still sold some. And I think it was like all the employees, basically, because obviously they work at a brewery and love comics, so they're like, it must be very expensive to work there and bring in.
Oh right, yeah.
Like,
but I know I'd be, I got good tips tonight. I'll buy this omnibus. Damn it! Like
like one of the guys was like texting one of the guys he wants here. He's like, "Do you want our comics?" And he's like putting in orders, and he's like, "Okay, he wants your comic." I'm like,
nice.
Sure. Yeah, so it was cool. But yeah, I'm just like trying things out. Like there's been like a few duds, to be fair. But there's been a few that, like, I went to a Christmas market for the first time last year, and it was actually like very successful. Like I guess like people are looking to spend money around Christmas, and like, so like I was in this thing like next to someone selling jams and next to someone selling like knitted hats. And then it was me with like comics. so it was like a weird place to do it, but it was actually like,
I would have bought all 3 of those things. I'm a bald man. I need knitted hats in the winter. I love a good knitted beanie, right? So I would have snagged one of those. I would have snagged some comics, and I love food and like good jams on like some nice pork. Oh man, like I would like. So it sounds like everywhere you go, Laurie, sounds like the best place ever to me. I'm not gonna lie.
When Santa was there, it was incredible, right?
There were puppies and raccoons. I was worried about the raccoons, but they were friendly.
There's people handed out $100 bills. It was the most magical place.
Oh man, I wish Comic Cons and events were like that. I'd go to a lot more of them.
Comic Cons are really missing Santa and like knitted hats.
Santa hat. I've heard someone was telling me. I get a couple last, what was it, 2 weekends ago when I adopted Coco, my new dog. There was a comic book event somewhere that it was like it was almost like an outdoor con or something, but there was like an animal shelter that had animals to adopt there too. And someone asked, they were like, "Oh, are you at this comic thing?" And I was like, what? There's a comic thing with rescue dogs? I was like, oh my God. I was like, why don't more? I was like, that sounds awesome. But yeah, I wasn't there. I just went to our big shelter here. It was like overloaded, and my buddies are fostering. a dog already. So like when they get overloaded, like they put out the panic calls to the fosters first, and they're like, "Oh my God, please, can you help us?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And so like, so they got this call, like they got almost 40 dogs in on top of being max capacity. So we went in and, because like a lot of the adoption fees were like waived or halved or whatever. And we fucking got this little grumpy bitch who just won't stop humping my poor little dog. Oh my God. They're both fixed. And I guess it's a domination that she's trying to assert dominance, and it's just like, Bruce is so dumb weird, with his pointy ears. And it's like, who's he dominating? But he did. So it's like, I'm not a parent, right? So like, this is as close as I get to parenting. They were outside like wrestling and they wrestle and it's cool and they're having fun, but you got, like I said, they'll start humping each other. And then that's when they're both fixed. Nothing can happen, but it's stupid and gross and they need to not do that. Yeah. And so we break them apart. And the other day, like Bruce, I thought he was about to start humping her and he didn't, but he like flipped her over and he peed on her. And I was like, no, you did.
Dogs are intense, man.
I was like, oh, and like luckily it was just a little like boop, because I was like, man, Bruce, if I had to give her a bath, this wouldn't be as funny. But like that was pretty funny. And like, and she was just sitting there like, wow, dude, you got me. And I thought that might be the end of it. I was like, wow, are you guys just gonna like get along now? And like, no, they get along, but it turns into hump fest. Anyway, on that note, I know you guys came here to talk about comics. Meet Laurie.
New plan here. We're talking about dogs.
I forgot. I was gonna segue into this hot dog comment after I started talking about the jams, because on the jam and the pork roll talk, and I was like, we'll go into hot dogs, because I saw you left a comment on Twitter. You were like, I don't understand this hot dog thing. And I don't really either. But my old co-host and I, Cole, a while back, we made weenie olies, which is a hot dog with raviolis and pasta sauce. It's an artery clogging.
Like on top?
Like a hot dog with I used cheese raviolis because I didn't feel like I needed beef raviolis with the hot dog. And then I melted some provolone cheese and I did like the gourmet version, and Cole bought like Chef Boyardee ravioli from a can. Yeah, and it was just like he made this deal and he was like, this isn't very good. And we ate them live. Like we both like presented our weenie olies to the live stream and ate them while we talked about this book. And one of the writers of the book, like this fairly big writer, like knows about the weenie oli deal and made a joke about it on Twitter, and we were both like, "Holy shit!" Like our weenie oli thing echoed into the like we made it.
This is fame, bro.
But that now it's like there's like all this hot dog talk now, and we're all in this like hot dog group chat on Instagram, and we just send weird hot dog memes to each other, and it's. That's where the hot dog thing came from. I know it was fizzling in your mind, and now you can
always wondering about hot dogs. That's just constant.
As one should. Like that's the way to live. If you could open the blinds, it might make it warmer in your room. It looks cold.
I'm in my basement, and my basement just doesn't heat as well as the rest. So I got like the winter vest and like my beanie. And
Where are you? Are you in Canada?
I'm in Canada, yeah.
Canada, nice. I hear it's nice there. I mean, it's cold, I guess, but like.
Yeah. Well, nice, it depends where you are. It snowed today, but at the same time, yesterday it was. I'm about to use Celsius. It's like yesterday it was like plus 15. You all know what that means, right?
Oh,
I can't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It was above freezing.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know. Like, let's say it was like, I know what room temperature. Let's say it's like 60 yesterday or something.
Because I remember like one of the
minus again.
I got a buddy with family in Canada, and they were talking about like when the winters are real bad, like the dogs, if you have pets, like they usually got to let them go like inside because it'll like freeze while they're peeing outside sometimes, like while it's coming out of them, which is gnarly.
I don't know if it would pee coming out of them. Like there's like my brother had like little dachshunds who like you had to like physically carry them outside to pee. But like my dog, I have a dog who's like, she's some kind of rescue mutt, but she's like husky shepherd Collie or something, and she like can go out in there, but she does get like the cold feet and stuff. But
oh yeah,
she can last a little longer.
I thought this conversation was about to go in a wildly different direction. I thought you were going to be like, my brother always did pea icicles every Christmas. We told him not to. We were like, dude, stop. The grandma's here. Like, and he made the pea icicles. Mom got mad. But it's Christmas, you know.
I am unaware of being able to pee icicles. Maybe I haven't looked it up, but it'd have to be quite cold, I would think.
Yeah, it would have to be like danger. Like you probably wouldn't want to pull your dinger out in the winter air cold.
Zero.
Right?
Like the day after tomorrow, where it's just like the cold front comes and it's just like ice.
Oh, like instant flash freezes everything. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't. It gets cold here, but not that cold. And this winter was pretty tame. Like usually we get ice. Like we don't get crazy snow, but we'll get like nasty ice usually a couple times in the winter, and that always sucks because like ice will like snap cable lines and stuff, and like limbs will fall, and then you lose power, and it's just like. It's the whole thing, Laurie, and it just is. It's it's hard to live in the Midwest in America. It's
so hard done by.
Yeah, it's just I'm about to tell you all about my problems now. No, I'm kidding.
I assume you have the GoFundMe link below.
Yeah,
Please help me.
Get me out of Kansas City. No, I love Kansas City. But so how long have you been working for ASAP as the editor-in-chief?
So the company's 3.5 years old officially. Okay. I've known Hades for about 5 years. The first year we kind of launched like the company with like our world comics, so like the stuff like in our like main continuity, like all the titles like are owned by ASAP. And then the second year, or the end of the first year, I guess, at the start of the second year, I think that it's funny because we didn't do it long enough now. Like I'm like, I don't remember all the timelines, but like we launched the Anyone world. Because we started publishing other people, so we're like, oh, we should actually like make an imprint and a platform. So they keep all their IPs, and then we publish their stuff. So we launched it with a charity anthology, and that was all prose. So it was like people just sending in like short stories, and it was a mixture of sci-fi, fantasy, horror. And we published a book called Perspectives, and it was charity, and it went to dyspraxia, which is a cause near and dear to Hades' heart. But basically, I was managing that project. And when it came out afterwards, he's like, do you want to be the editor-in-chief? And I was kind of like, no, that sounds like a lot of work. He's like, but you're basically doing it already. He's like, you might as well have the title. And I was like, fine. Yeah. and like when I got into comics, like met him, I was never planning on like going this direction at all. Like I wanted to be like the New York Times bestseller novelist. Like that was like my writing plan. And then I got fully corrupted by him, and like just a little bit more. He's like, oh, do a project, write a comic, manage this anthology, be editor-in-chief, and like all that stuff. So now I'm just fully in it. There's no escape, but like in a good way.
Nice. I had a similar journey. I started in prose too, and like I was like taking creative writing courses in college, and I was reading comics in college. But like I remember I had a professor one time basically tell me I was stupid because I was like, nice. When I was finally, I was kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I kind of would like to write a comic. Like I'm really into this medium and like what the graphic novels and stuff can do, and like I'm kind of into it. And he was like, why would you? He was like, you're a good writer. Why would you want to do that? And I was just like, okay, wow, thanks for taking a big old shit on my dreams there, bud. But yeah. But yeah, like I used to do like poetry and prose and short stories and tried to get some stuff published, and that never happened. And then now I'm not writing a lot. I'm doing more like the editorials. I'm doing some editing stuff, which I'm enjoying. Like I don't know, like, and I'm writing articles for like Geek Network now, which is fun, but I still haven't got that, like, I haven't got that urge back to like to talk fiction, to like tell fiction. Like I haven't had a desire, or I was also doing like creative nonfiction. I used to write about being a bouncer a lot. Yeah. I had good stories. Right?
Yeah, like, I could imagine.
But like even then, like a good bar story, you got to like tie it into something else. Like you got to find like some like emotional thing. Like a hook.
some lesson.
You can't just be like, this guy hit me. I called him an asshole. Like got drunk later.
Yeah. I got arrested for aggravated assault, and then
yeah.
I keep doing that, and I haven't grown as a person.
I am the same person as when I started.
Yeah, I'm still an asshole. I still like to drink.
Now I drink more.
Yeah. To be fair, that is character.
That is a character arc. Yeah,
I'm a full alcoholic.
Not the one you want, probably, but that is a character arc. That's your lesson in writing tonight, folks. And everybody does love a flawed character, and you are quite proficient at writing flawed characters, and you write them in these scenarios where like all hope is gone. Right? Like, there's like literal demons walking through the street. One of them like is a very like, I've never said this before. It's a very enchanting suicide tale. Like, but it is like it's it's like it's these like these fresh spins on like these people locked in a bar during the apocalypse, but also, and then I don't want to spoil too much, but I know it's an older comic too, and it's being reprinted, but still like that. And when they throw him outside, they're like, who was that guy? And it was just like all of that. And then you like, remember, you're like, oh yeah, all of these people probably don't know, like maybe they're like, a couple of them might be regulars at this bar, but they don't all necessarily know each other. And they're like deciding who lives and dies and who gets like tossed out, it's like, wow. And you come up with these really intense situations with dialogue and big character moments and all these little short snippets. And so are you doing the majority of the writing in these, or is there a couple writers, or how is the
so this all started with an anthology that Hades, it was a prose anthology that Hades and I co-wrote, and we each wrote 8 stories. And so there was two. There was one. They had different titles, but there were 2. Yeah, so it was actually one book, but like it was like a flip book. So like it's always hard to explain, and I don't have stock right here. I'm getting more, but I feel like for all of the podcasts I've been on to like promote the Kickstarter, I'm always like, imagine I'm holding a book. But yeah, but like it'd be better if everything was just audio, and I could just be like, I'm totally holding a book right now, but all the video ones. But yeah, but there's 8 stories, and like so there's Points of Villainy has 8 stories that they're like very like tragic endings. They don't have a ton of hope in them. So they're quite dark and quite like horror-ish vibes and stuff, or like fantasy or whatever. But yeah, so like we took 12 stories from the whole anthology, and we put 2 stories into each issue. And then so the first 3 Points of Villainy issues are going into the trade, and then we're working on Points of Virtue, which are like, they're not like, they're full of hope is basically what they are. Like they're not necessarily like everyone survives, because there's still like this big apocalyptic event going on. It's still the event, right?
Yeah, so it's still centered around that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's basically just like, so what happens, and like there's these people called all these monsters attack, and like in the period of like 24 hours, like London is like thrown into chaos. But like before like that happens, like things start seeping in, so it's like a countdown to the event, and then the event happens, and there's like this huge surge, and then it's like more like physical monsters like destroying people and attacking people, and then like
an A-clown.
and a clown.
It's a monster clown, but that's still like, is that a clown?
Yeah,
that was a fun. I like that moment. It made me laugh.
But then, so in theory, you flip it over, and there's Points of Virtue. So then there's the same thing. Like the event happens, and then for the Points of Virtue, it's kind of more like the timeline isn't like as like chronological countdown. It's kind of like then these things happen, and then everyone is saved by these beings called the Luminous. So in Points of Virtue, which is going to be like our second trade. That goes with this one. It basically tells that, and then we have all of these. Are you guys
retelling the Rapture?
No, no, it's actually not like that at all.
I mean, public domain, I guess, right? Like,
yeah, the Bible. No,
that's all lies anyway.
No, but it is like as you read, like you don't like all of our titles are interconnected, and you don't have to like read all of them to understand. But there's one, The Dead of Night, goes into the religion that kind of came out of the event, because these Luminous came, and a lot of people thought they were angels, and they were all saved. So this became this big, oh my god, this like, and people actually saw them. So this became this kind of religion, but like kind of like as religions are, not entirely. Not corrupt.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes into that, and then all the stories are connected, and they all like kind of touch, like everyone knows about the event and knows about the Luminous, but different titles get into things in different ways.
Very cool. Awesome. And now the early issues, did you guys crowdfund those?
So right when we founded the company, like, again, I wasn't like fully part of it. I was just like, yeah, here's some stories. But
Okay.
so when Hades founded the company, we did do a Kickstarter because for the anthology and the first issue of Messiah, which is about the Messiah project, features like Daniel, who's this guy who can heal people and absorb their injuries, but he can't heal himself. So that was kind of our first Kickstarter. That was 3.5 years ago, and we haven't done one since. Like, we've been putting out other issues and titles, but we kind of just doing in-house funding, I guess. And then now that we're in the trades, we're going to be doing more, essentially.
Well, I guess now's a good time to bring this up. So the project's funded, folks. So if you check this out, it's, you know, if you back it, you're going to get it. And then I think you can also go to the website. You guys have a web store and stuff too, right? To buy older stuff.
Yep.
And then also, if there's going to be, I just posted the link here. So if you guys, there's a link in the chat, link in the comments, and then also in the descriptions, if anybody's watching it later, there's also going to be a link to this campaign. You can click it, you can go find it. We'll make sure Laurie shouts out some places for you to go follow at the end of the show and stuff. But we'll make sure it's, if you watch, if you listen, if you look around, we'll make sure that there's a link. You'll be able to find the books we're talking about easily. I promise you. And the little taste I've got to see from what they're doing at ASAP, I think a lot of you will enjoy reading these. So I think it's going to be a good publisher to keep an eye on. And I dig your writing, Laura. Like the dialogue and stuff you do is like really good. Like I said, you have this really intense moment, this event, right? And it's already really intense, but the way you manipulate people in there, like, oh man, and it's a real fun sandbox you got to play in with this too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, like we could play in like psychological horror and like monster horror and all kinds of stuff. And we never told, like, Hades and I both wrote those stories, and we never told anyone who wrote which one. So like you could be complimenting me, but you could also be complimenting him. But we also have like this, we just had this like very similar writing style where like we didn't want people like, because when the book first, like the prose anthology first came out, we were a little like, we didn't want people just being like, oh well, which ones are your stories? I'll just read those. So we kind of just never told anyone what they were. But then like my comic book's title, Sister Grimm, came out of this. And there's two stories that are Sister Grimm stories. Like there's one in Points of Villainy and one in Points of Virtue that tie the two sides like very obviously together.
Okay.
So obviously the cat's out of the bag on those ones. So you know that I have two, and I have like 6 more in there. And then obviously in the comics, we're only doing 12 of the 16. So people can obviously get the anthology still. And it's actually an add-on. But you can read more, get the prose, and because like every time you read more, like you could write infinite stories about the event the way we did it, because it's just ordinary people and their perspective. But so like if you read 4 more stories, you'll get like a bigger piece of the puzzle of what the event is. But yeah, obviously you can also just read the comic book and the graphic novel. So
if these end up doing well and like the trades find an audience, do you guys think you may end up like adapting the rest of the stories, or do you want to keep it a little bit like, do you want to keep it to where like they go back to the prose if they want more?
I think it depends. Like we did kind of, so I'm trying to think of some of the stories that we left out are a little more like they're a little more in people's heads.
So they wouldn't translate.
Yeah, so they're a little like, I think you could. So like one of them, the guy's literally trapped in a box. Like in the dark, and I like people like I've like mentioned it before. People like, oh, like that Ryan Reynolds movie where he like buried alive, and like we realized like, is it just like a whole bunch of black panels with dialogue, or like the same like kind of like it's murky and you just zoom in on his face and like obviously you could do lots with it, and like so there's like a potential in it. Like there's a time loop one, and there's one in like a retirement home where like this like elderly lady's like hearing things and all this stuff. And then I'm trying to think of what the last one is, but off the top of my head, I'm like, trying a big old blank on what the last one is, but it's in there too. Like they're all fun and stuff. So I think the last one's sleep paralysis. Yeah.
You can get all these as add-ons too, right? If they want to add on the prose.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have them in print too, or is it just digital?
Yep.
In print?
Yeah, these are in print. Yeah.
I read so many digital comics and it does not bother me. And I kind of enjoy it because I got a nice new tablet and the colors look ridiculous on it. Like, and it's like, but I don't, even when I turn down the brightness, like real low, I don't really like reading prose on tablets. Like it kind of like messes with my eyes every now and then.
Yeah, and it's a lot of text. Like I know the same things. Like I like read comics on my phone just because like I support so many people and like living in Canada, like it's the same thing for this. Like I get shipping is like prohibitive, which is why there's digital ones available. But there's definitely like I've definitely done the thing where I've like paid $6 for a comic and $30 for shipping, and I'm like, well worth it. But obviously digital. Some people I'm like, I don't know the person, but I still want to support them. Like, oh, you're almost funded. Like throw a few bucks at it and get the digital copy. So like I'll be at my daughter's dance class and just like reading, not how comics are supposed to be read at all, but like my tiny little screen and like zooming in and. So.
I mean, now that when they have like the smart panel or the panel by panel deal to set up, like for the newer apps, it's not as bad. But I mean, yeah, it's still, and I mean, every year the phones get bigger too. Like, I mean,
it's funny because they're getting smaller.
Google deal where you can pull it out. Yeah, you can like pull it out and fold it out 8 ways, and you have like an 18-inch screen now or whatever.
It's like a switchblade, but a phone. Just like.
Yeah, and then you can actually, it can be too big. Like the other day, I had to edit a comic, and I was like bored, and I was like, I turned my monitor like into horizontal into portrait mode. Yeah. And I was like, I've never read a comic, and so like I have this like 27-inch monitor, like tall, and I'm like, the comic's all huge, and I was like, I don't like this. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, this is
it's like I'm in the comic.
I was like, wow, it does get
it's so
ridiculous.
Lifelike.
So what another thing I enjoyed about reading these, by the way, is all the different art styles and artists y'all used, and there's like this very, very different styles, but everyone understood the assignment that like there was a lot of like emotional and trauma and pain that had to be like physically portrayed in these characters, a lot of confusion, a lot of fear. Right. And so like, that was a really intense job you guys put on your artists, and I feel like every single one nailed it. Like there wasn't a moment. I was editing a book for someone the other day, and there was a part where these people were like screaming, and I was like, this person looks like she's laughing, having a good time. Did no one notice that before? But like all of these characters, like regardless of like, who drew them or what story is in, like they're all like, you believe them, and you feel their emotions, and a little bit of that fear kind of like comes through the pages, right? And it adds to the tension of all these stories, which are already like super fucking intense, as I mentioned. And how was that like with stuff like this, when when you do come from prose, and you're learning about comics as you go, right? This is, some of this was happening when you had just started doing it, right?
Yeah.
And how was it hard finding these artists to do it, or did you guys, or did you luck out, or because
we were actually fairly lucky. So like when we launched the company, Hades had a friend, Kyle Wright, who did the first issue of Messiah, and that was kind of where it all started. And then I don't actually remember, like we found someone for Dead of Night because that was our second one, and then I think Matteo Maciorowski, he's the one, he did issue 1, the bottom half with like the Tailwind 2. It's about this little boy, basically like it's all from his perspective of the event. And he was like one of our first artists, and we were basically like, hey, you're like awesome. Do you know anyone else who's also awesome? And he was like, I have all these people. And he was in Argentina, and like he had this like little network, so he basically told a whole bunch of them to contact us, and we ended up with like a whole bunch of Argentinian artists, which is awesome. So yeah, like that's like excuse me, that's like why they all where they're from. One of them's from Mexico. Like we branched out a little bit from in the Americas. I guess he's technically North American when you're in Mexico, but yeah. So yeah, we've just been like really fortunate and worked with good people, and they all do have different styles. Like this one we have up right now, like her style is very clean and a little more anime, whereas like there's like another one that's like yeah, it's like a little more manga is probably a better way of describing it. But we have like the 2 stories that are kind of told from the child's perspective, so they are like bright and like almost innocent, It's kind of just like this one.
Yeah, this
But it's like this
Tailwind too. The colors in this are phenomenal.
Yeah, so
They're
this
so
is
good.
Mateo. So like, of course, we're just like, yeah, like if you know other people that are like you, send them our way. But yeah, so like the kids have these really bright and innocent color palette, but this like horrible stuff is happening. And then like we have like one in like black and white, and it's like kind of a grittier style, and like obviously this one's like a little blood splatter, and then this one is like the one above, you have it's like in an office, so it's like her like clean style really works well with that. And then yeah, it's just like it's very cool. And then the very last one is our guy from Mexico, and like he did the cover for this as well, like for the whole graphic novel. And like that one is very, it's like told in like, this is your like this is your suicide story, where it's like it's just two-tone basically. Like it's the present in blues, and then the flashbacks are on the sepia tones. So yeah, it's cool. We were like very fortunate to work with like different artists with like different styles, and but like you said, like we all like seems like they all nailed it. We were lucky with that. So
yeah, they're very, very good looking books, great looking stories. I'm always impressed in books like these when y'all like what you can pull off in a short time, right? Because you're coming from prose, so you really know like a comic book script. You have no time. You have no time to waste words. You have to be so exact. You have to be so on it. There's no room, right? Even in indie, even in crowdfunding and self-publishing, like you start adding pages, that starts costing money, right? So you got to really be, you got to be organized and stuff. And you start doing stuff like this where you get 6, 7, maybe 8 pages. That's so much less time, so much less room.
Yeah, for sure.
And
like
again,
these ones,
you're real good at it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what
thank
stories exactly you did, but everything I read was real, like for real, as like, other than like, yeah, there were some where like, I liked some art more than the other, but that's superficial, right? That's just me being me and my styles that I enjoy. Nothing was bad. Nothing made me not want to read it. But like all of the people in the dialogue and the event and like, I could like read stories like this all day. Like, and just like you said, like there's so much you guys can pull from, and then you got to play around with it differently, get a little bit more cerebral and play with like, you know, like the thought process and stuff like in the prose form, which is, you know, fun because you can get tricky. But, you know, I thought you guys kind of played with some narrative play, like in even some of these shorts that you did, you know, like it was just the child perspectives, the coming in and out of like the car naps, you know, and like that the way you guys like portray the confusion and stuff. I thought you guys had some like very fresh takes on we've all seen these stories, right? The world's ending, whatever flavor the world's ending in, right? It's you gotta embrace it differently, put a different kind of spin on it, and you guys focusing on the humanity in ways that you did here was real smart. And I'm very interested into like the yin and yang of it, right? Like the other side of it, where it's just, and I also like how you said like it's not as hopeless. Like there's this like, like
still awful and terrible things
and still die horribly, but they're like, we're gonna fight till the end, and their end happened right after that, unfortunately. But yeah, no, you guys did a real good job, and anybody listening, like if this is the kind of stuff that they're doing at this publisher, like, and then yeah, I mean, I think we need to keep eyes on them, because they're telling real good stories. And like I said, I really like the vibe you guys put out there. You're real cool to the community. You've always been very friendly to people I've seen. You know, I think that's important. I know some people don't. You're fucking wrong. Simple as that. So.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and you know, real quick, you know, like if you know, digital starting at $5, and you know they go up based on like what you guys get. Prices are pretty affordable. The shipping, I think they did what they could, and it's not terrible.
Yeah, so shipping is what it is. Unfortunately,
it is what it is.
Try to do our best. If you're in the UK, it's better, but we still do what we can. And obviously, there's digital, like just
definitely. And you guys are giving out a lot of. You guys got a lot of. Okay, yeah. Here, you're giving away some of your guys' backlog, and some other creators kind of you've got a pool of like a digital library bonus giveaway system thing going on.
Yeah, for sure. So these ones are all connected to like the graphic novel. So like
Okay.
Sister Grimm happens 3 months after the event, Messiah is a year, Person is a year, Dead of Night is a year, and OPSEC's like a little shorter than that. So like it's
Is
just
this
kind
the any one universe, or is that what you guys
no, so this one's still our world. So it's like these ones
Okay.
are all connected. ASAP owns these, and then we have 4 writers, like Hades, myself, Nem or DW Howard, and George Medina. The other 2 guys, like Hades is in the UK, I'm in Canada, and the other 2 guys, we got New York and LA for all intents and purposes, Riverside. But yeah, so like we do have different people writing the different titles, and they're all like, again, like they're loosely connected, and that they all mentioned the event, and they all like, the event was the catalyst for all these stories, but like you can follow them. Like if you just want to read Sister Grimm, like you can go in and like understand what's happening, but everything obviously like adds a few more pieces to the puzzle. So if you want a more complete picture, you can go all in and obviously get the first issues bundle and see like what works for you.
Like. Yeah, very cool. Like. And you get all that just for backing, right?
No, that one. So that one is that one's like you back that specific reward. We have like the Anyone world, the comics that you're talking about.
Okay.
Where there are basically stretch goals. Basically, as we've hit 250 pounds, which my guess is that's like 300 US. I don't actually know.
Okay.
Like I have the problem where everything, like we set everything up in pounds. It always like converts it to Canadian for me people, and then I go on like I have to talk to US people. So I'm like, I don't know just go with look. But basically, as we've hit 250 pounds, we've released another comic that someone's donated for us that's digital. So these are all them right here. And we've unlocked 4 of them. We're like $15 away from the 5th one. And basically anyone who backs has access to these. And so these are like our creators who donated a lot of first issues and got like people experimenting on children. We got like Path of the Pale Riders, like a world where people don't die. So like you die, but your bodies don't.
Oh, weird.
You're still just exist. And then like Treble is like this like high school kid who as he listens to music, it gives him different powers. And so there's like all these like super like fun stuff. Those ones are all locked. Like Bob, Non-Union Psych is like a hairdresser who has psychic powers and can talk to ghosts. And so there's definitely like a lot of like fun stuff that people get right now. And then we've unlocked a trading card because we have a few other trading cards that we created. Okay. And then like those ones, like I am pointing, like people can see where I'm pointing, but like the ones that are shown, we have Sister Grimm, the Dead Knight, and Foe. And now we've released Barbara King, who can she can channel the infernal into inanimate objects, and she tends to use toys. So she can like basically like use toys to attack people. And she has like her little doll Maisie, who's demonic and like awesome little sidekick.
That's cool. I did not realize that this world was so expansive, and you've done all this in 3 years.
Yeah. It's one of those
without
things.
AI. Look at that. Look at that. No AI.
Yeah. We support our artists, and we want them to actually draw their stuff.
Nice.
So
as you should, and you guys are finding good artists. So yeah, like that's cool. But yeah, like wow, 3 years. That's a lot of stuff. So yeah, like I said, everything I've gotten to read, and I got to read the 3 issues that are in the trade. That's going to be the trade that is on Kickstarter, right? That you would be backing right now. Yeah. And yeah, like I had a blast reading it. It's creepy, it's weird, it's intense, and then yeah, like as soon as you're done, it's just you're like, okay, I want more of these short stories with these grimy little weirdo people doing grimy little weirdo people things. I loved it. Yeah. And then the fact that there's like, I love that you make us forget for brief moments that there are demons outside. Because you're so focused on the demons inside, which are just regular people, but they're like, oh, those are the scary ones, you know. And then you forget till like you come face to face with a monster in a scene or whatever, you know. And it's just there's a lot of cool moments like that. I thought y'all did real good job there. But we got some comments that I've been ignoring. Rick says this is back when we were talking about our pee freezing. The band 3 Dog Night got their name when it was so cold that 3 dogs slept on the bed. Hey, maybe I need a third one. I like it. I like it and I hate it. I love having all the dogs on the bed. It's kind of nice. I got when I'm like reading and I'm comfy and like they're there, and then what I don't like is like waking up at like 3 a.m. because one of them's like deciding to dine on their own asshole for whatever reason. And you're like, God damn it, it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nothing wakes you up like a dog licking itself.
Right? Like the bed shaking. You're like,
or a cat hawking up a hairball. Those two noises.
Yeah.
No.
My sister has cats and she's like, dude, you don't even know. Like the shit we hear at night. Like she was like, you have no idea. Myself and Comics came in to hang out. Thanks for tuning in. That's the Kindles. Yeah, the Kindles have those like soft reader screens that like work. They're supposed to be just like a page. I've thought of checking those out, honestly. But
I've heard Kindles don't work very good outside though.
Oh really?
I feel like I've heard that because like if their screen isn't bright enough or something. So like if you have too much sun, but they may have fixed that by now. I don't have a Kindle, so I'm just bashing the product and have no idea.
I just stay in my little hut. I'm like a hobbit these days. I'm not allowed to leave my desk actually. Like if I get up, they're like, why are you working? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta pee. There you go, pee icicles outside. It's not that bad. It's not that. It's because it's not cold. No, I get to take breaks. I swear. But yeah, it's someone saying that the books look good. I agree, Pierre. Thanks for tuning in. Hassel, what's up? Hassel with the Nerdy Man Room, tuning in. Hassel's got a great show. You guys should check it out. He's awesome. He looks like Hades in the Hercules. I think that was
the point. He was adapted. That was again Mateo. That was I think for our first year anniversary. We had like a celebration. And he's just like drew Hades as Hades from Hercules essentially, but gave him like the beard and the bushy eyebrows.
Nice. I always liked that guy. I don't know. I've always liked the Dark Lords. I don't know.
Oh man, Hercules is great. Like that. Like Hades is such a good villain in that one.
But even in like in the Wonder Woman comics, like Hades is always like he's always more than what you think he is, and you can't trust him. But he like really commands the moments that he's in, and like he's just had some. And I don't know. Like so, I have an appreciation with him because of like Wonder Woman. I like it. I like it when like the Pantheon shows up because I think a lot of people like forget that sometimes, you know, because it's like you think of like the Trinity and it's like Soups, Wonder Woman, and Bats, right? And then like that's what you think about is like them being like in the big cities on Earth doing stuff, and then you forget like Diana is like she's divine, you know, like that's all part of her, and I don't know, I thought that's cool. Like, don't fuck with Wonder Woman. Like,
you have a goddess, and you have a guy with a utility belt, and you have an alien, like the perfect crime-fighting duo.
a rich man with a utility belt. Like, who knows what they could do? Like, look what Elon did with $40 billion. Like. Whatever happened to Twitter, like I don't know.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne could have bought Twitter. Think of the change he could have made in Gotham.
Oh, I know, right? Like Gotham's like we already had Twitter. Like no.
yeah.
Now it's Gotham X. all the villains.
Yeah,
trying,
everything. I think it was. I noticed, like, I think I was like when I shared, like, I reposted your when you first like shared this out today, and just the first comments just nudes. I'm like, come on, Twitter.
Yeah,
hide.
I get those a lot.
For more.
Who was it? Comic book couples counseling the other day. They tweeted like the way they say like nudes in bio, and they have like the symbols between the letters, and comic book couples counseling did comics in bio like that and tweeted it, and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because it usually hides them, and I always look because I always wonder if it's like someone being a jerk or if it's a sex bot, right?
I go into every viral like tweet. I'm like, what are they hiding? I'm like, oh, that's terrible. Some things are like a lot of things. If you get into a viral tweet too soon, like some people post like some legit terrible stuff in there, like nudity is, I mean, whatever. It's the internet. But there's some stuff where you're like, oh God, report this.
It's getting weird out there. That's why I said it's like, unfortunately, like it sucks sometimes having all the different social media outlets, but it is nice. Like I said, like Threads is pretty chill, Blue Sky is pretty chill. You know, and it's just you don't get as much interaction, but you don't get as much nastiness, right? Like there's so there's like a kind of, I don't know, I guess maybe there's a trade-off. Like I said, I don't doom scroll as much anymore, so I don't see it as much unless like something happens like that happened a couple weeks ago. Then you start reading the comments and it's just like fucking sad, right? Like, and then you're just
there's lots of stuff where you can, if you really want to dive into stuff, you can, but depends how you want to ruin your day.
I know, right? Like I'm already busy, but like, let's waste an hour getting sad. Here we go. Like,
I'm feeling too happy today.
Yeah, like
feel about that.
You know, for a second I was in a good mood. I don't deserve that. I don't think. Yeah, I was like,
I don't deserve happiness.
I laughed too much last night. You know, I need to really calm down. Thank you for the bee thing could happen because I was like a busy bee, and then the buzz thing, and then and I work at Metal Ninja Studios, who gave me a glam up for selling my soul to the company basically, but I got a big glam up new logo and stuff. But yeah,
I assume they also sent you a jar of honey.
No, they didn't.
Really? Not in exchange for your soul? You don't even get honey.
I know. I didn't get any. I got a pat on the back and a smile. Well, you like hopes and dreams? Like, cool. All right, I do. No, I'm joking. It felt right, and I don't have no regrets. But yeah, it's we're gonna try, like, we want to do like a podcast network. That's the thing we're trying. Hassle, the Nerdy Man Room's one of them, a part of it already, kind of, and like we're trying to make this thing, and that's going to be part of the deal. Is the studio, if you're part of the network, you can opt in for a glam up package and be pretty like Blake's Buzz. It's hopefully going to be it's part of the deal. So if you give us your soul, we'll give you some pretty pictures for your promo, right? But no, I think it's going to be cool, and it's like that with the changes at Geek Network and everything. It's been a lot, but I'm hoping the hard work. I'm hoping the hard work pays off, and it's cool, and I'm just trying to do something good for comics, and hopefully I don't burn everything down in the process. That's all I'm trying to do, is not burn everything down. I'm trying to do what you're trying to keep your kids from doing, which is burning down the house when you ignore them for half a second. Because I feel like my boss Joel, when he turns his back on me, it's just the flames coming. I'm just like, and then he turns back around, and I have to like throw a rug over it, be like, there's nothing happening.
That's why you have the podcast for like however long they run. It's just like for those minutes, you're like semi together.
Semi, barely.
Semi. I would never accuse you of being completely together. I would never.
Well, I feel like last night's show, like Joe Corallo was on, and like I'm trying to talk to him about like his DC debut and stuff. He's like breaking into DC Comics, and like he keeps going back. We keep talking about disc golf, and I was like, why are we? I was like, why are we getting keep going back to disc golf? I keep trying to like talk about his comic, and he keeps going back to, I'm like, that was weird. I also might have eaten some edibles earlier in the day. That that probably impacted the weirdness, but I did not expect to talk about disc golf for 20 minutes on last night's live stream. That was the first. And I was woefully unprepared. He's like, what do you mean there's different discs? I'm like, I'm like, my buddy Cole, like, doesn't really do comic stuff anymore and does disc golf. And I like all his videos that he posts of his disc golf videos to support him. But now YouTube's like, this guy wants more disc golf videos. And I'm like, I like comics, man. Like,
oh, it's so dangerous what you click on, and also the algorithm is just like, here's more.
I wish one of my friends had like a how to meet single women in your area or whatever, like the videos that I could like give me something useful. I don't even get comic videos promoted to me anymore.
Disc golf, maybe that's
maybe I gotta. You know what? That's better than like the last time someone told me someone was like, I met my wife at church, and I was like, well, that's why I'm single. If that's the case, because like. They're going to quit. If I meet a woman at church, she's going to quickly find out that I'm not a church going man and I'm not a godly person. You know, like she's going to be like, you're not the guy I met at Sunday brunch. I'm like, yeah, I am. It was a lie. It was all a lie.
Yeah. No, I was a liar then.
I'm a liar, dirty liar now.
Yeah.
Like, when I touch the holy water, it hisses. They're like, come on. Like, no, it's not. I'm not that bad. But I still would not like want to go to church. And I went to private school. I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic high school. I went to a private university for a while. Like, I was around church people, and I never met. Oddly enough, my first girlfriend was she was religious, but she was a different kind of religion, which posed some problems. But yeah, I was always around like religious people, and they don't like me either. So it's just, this is why I do this. And you all should be glad that I'm single, because I guarantee you, if I did have a relationship that I had to pay attention to, it would probably, like with the extra hours and stuff I put in at work, like your boy probably would be not doing as many live streams and stuff, right? People would be like, where's Blake? Like, I don't, he's like, well, Blake has to like go out to dinners and hold hands and shit now, So you're lucky I'm alone. That's why you guys get all the good comic book content over here on Blake's Buzz. Even my dog, I felt bad. It's weird. I got the new dog, and I felt guilty because like I've been like in the office working all day, and then a live stream tonight. And last night I fell asleep. I lost a video for a big interview. Sucks. And I gotta email the creator and be like, sorry I wasted your time. And I'm gonna do like a write up and review some of his books he's got out right now to like try and stay in the good, and I'm gonna offer if he wants to re-record, but yeah, it sucks. And but anyway, so like last night I was waiting, I went out to edit this video, and then I realized, I was like, wait, where the fuck is the video? I don't have a video. And then then the video didn't work, and then I'm waiting for the guy who has the backup video to see if he still has it, and he's like nah, I don't have it anymore. And I was like, well, shit. And anyway, so I ended up falling asleep in my office. I come inside at like 3:30 in the morning, and Coco, the new dog, she's asleep on this chair. She likes this chair now. She like sleeps in this chair, but she's like, I guess she likes the chair. I thought she was waiting for me, and I thought it was really sweet, but then I think she just likes the chair. And but I told myself she was waiting for me. But anyways, I when I got ready to go for bed, I was like, come on. And then like she climbed into bed, but it was weird. Like I'm like, I got this new dog, and she doesn't understand like, what the fuck is a live stream? Like, I came from a pound. Yeah. Like, I gotta go. Sorry, girl. I gotta go talk about comics. I'll be back. Anyway, it's like, I couldn't imagine like having kids or an actual relationship I had to like monitor and keep track of. It'd be hard. Especially with comics and just how crazy. Like, I mean, look, you have to do all this press. And you do like the conventions and stuff, and you want to start doing more conventions. You also have to write, you have to do stuff. And then you're like editor in chief job and all the stuff that entails, and then on top of like your Lauren life shit. Right. And it's just like it gets like comics get crazy. I don't think people realize, especially in indie, when you got to like be out there and stay out there or people don't hear you anymore, right? Like, you got to keep screaming.
Yeah, it's annoying, like how out there you need to be. And like even for like this month, like I was doing podcasts I used to do like maybe like 1 or 2 podcasts a month, and then I had my own show for a while, which I kind of like really cut back because I was doing that once a week. But then this month, obviously, and a little bit into last month because of the Kickstarter, I'm like really like going all in on podcasts. But then again, the problem is like all the East Coasters, they do it at this time.
Yeah.
So it's very much like and for me, it's like my kids' dinner and bedtime. So like my partner, I'm like, so sorry, you're doing both of them tonight again. Have fun. But then then I have like the cons and stuff. Like this month is like very busy, and it does like make you feel guilty a little bit, but like at the same time, like he's very understanding, and my parents are also like they come and like hang out with my kids like a couple times a week, or my mother-in-law does. So like I get some time during the day, but a lot of it is like after bedtimes. It'll be like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like opening my laptop. I'm like, okay, time to edit some comics or do some contracts or like
shit,
whatever. So it's very much just this like, it's like there's only so much time you have, and like the one of the only places you can get more time is by sleeping less, which isn't like super healthy. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, it is stressful, but there's also, I mean, there's also nothing like it. Like it's when I'm helping make comics in a different way, and like the studio's making comics, and like I'm proud of the stuff we put out, and sometimes like and like that, I like that sense of pride, or like when I get like editing credits on the inside cover or whatever, right? Like that's fucking cool. But when it's yours, right? When it's your story, your characters, like you're making them feel these emotions and stuff. You're finding these artists that vibe with the story to help you tell the story. You're connected to these things in so many different ways, being the creator as well. So, that intensity kind of amplifies for you. And you obviously love it. You fake it real well if you don't. But I mean, like, people ask me that all the time, and I don't have an answer a lot. And people ask me like how I avoid burning out, and it's cocaine. I'm joking. I don't. My mustache is itching my nose, so I said that because my mustache is killing me right now. But no,
just got the little nosebleed.
Yeah, it's
totally joking. Just ignore.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's I wish I don't like. Blake needs a raise. No. If you want that Blake back, Blake needs a raise. But no, but a lot of times I don't have a choice, right? It's the day job. You have to work. The job has to get done, and Blake's Buzz isn't necessarily the day job, but it's mine, and I treat it like a day job, which is why I've had success in it. I think, because I treat it differently than. It is more than a podcast to me. Yeah, I look at the metrics. Yeah, I think about the stuff like, like I think of it like as one would think of it like a business, or not a total business, obviously, but I think about ways to engage people differently, build the audience. I've spent a lot of money on lights and audio and cameras, and I didn't do that for my OnlyFans. Subscribe. No, I'm joking. I don't have one of those, but I did that for this, and because anyway, but I don't have an answer for people a lot. It's just like, I can't, I'm not allowed to, and I feel that, and that adds a crushing weight at times, and I don't, but you get through it. But like, what do you, as a woman with kids who's trying to, raise, human beings that can successfully go out into the world and not be little shitheads and be cool people, to make sure that you get to spend time with your partner, and that you guys still get to enjoy your lives and have fun, and family time, and and everything else, and then on top of editor-in-chief stuff, and then projects that like you're working on, right? That like some stuff. How do you? I mean, I know you said like a lot of this maybe starts at like 11 o'clock at night, but if if you are keeping weird hours like that, like how do you keep from burning out? Like what keeps you pushing and striving?
I think that, so I've actually been one of the very fortunate things with like working with Hades is like he's also like my best friend. And
Nice.
When we first met, it was very much like we always wanted to work on a project together, and we just clicked. And like one of the first things we did, like that anthology that we did together, like I had just had a kid and I was like postpartum depression and like overwhelmed. And he's like, well, let's do this. And it was just very much, and like, I like wasn't very confident that I could, but it was very much having an accountability partner. And like, that does do things. Like I actually have really like garbage internal motivation, but like when a whole bunch of people are relying on you, which is why I think like being an editor actually like is good, because like people are like, like obviously for ASAP, like it's not all like there's not all fees included or whatever, but like I still do like some freelance for people, and like people are paying you to do stuff, and like they have deadlines, and they're like want to put their stuff out there. So if you're like a big bottleneck, it's like obviously that's not good for anybody. And like, but even with like the company and stuff, it's the same thing where it's just like we have contracts, like if they don't get contracts out, or like all the stuff that I do, like it's a very much like timeliness, and like there's a lot of people relying on you, and I don't want to let people down. And it is for myself too. Like I do have to make things, like I make myself accountable, because like it's so easy to like work on everyone else's project and neglect yours. And like
Mhm.
when I first got into this, it was very much like I wanted to write. And that was like very important to me. And I do like, I have to prioritize some things first, but I'm still always like trying to make sure like I get my stuff in there as well and set aside time for that. Like I don't have good balance. Like I would never claim to have good balance. Like I get like, I like run out of energy and I'm like short-tempered with the people around me and stuff because you're like, I just need sleep, or like, or you like stay up too late one night and that's the night my kids wake up with nightmares, or like they're sick, or they wake up puking or something, right? So it's like, oh man, I did not budget my time well for this because I wasn't expecting this. But yeah, I think it's just like I think there's so much going on that you can sprinkle in the good with like some of the more tedious stuff. Like I think to me that's kind of it. Like if I find time to like still write and now I like draw as well, like those kind of fill up my buckets. And different, like writing I find like excites my brain, whereas like drawing calms it. So having those two things is great. Whereas like when you have all these other like deadlines and Kickstarters that you have to like set up and promote and stuff, like different things are stressful. And even like cons, like I actually find like they're very fun. It's awesome like talking to people and like literally handing your book to someone, but like the day after, like I am hungover. Like that's what it feels like. I'm like, I want to sleep for like, and odds are good I'm also sick because you've like a whole bunch of people breathed on you and touched all your stuff. But like, so it's like definitely like it's a lot, but it's just like, I don't know, like there's different things that just energize you and keep you going. And you'll have garbage days where like you're like, why am I doing this? What's the point? Like I'm not good enough. You have all those negative inner voices and self-doubts and stuff, but like I think if you surround yourself with good people, I think that's like, and I know it's not always easy to do that because like some people are, like, again, being in comics, you're gonna think a lot of people are like, why are you in comics? But thankfully I've been fortunate enough to find a good community and people who like support this and make it worth it.
It makes a huge difference, which is another reason why I want to build the podcast like network deal, because it's like I've found a cool community in the comic book community, but like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like there for a while when I had like buddies that were like when they were like making shorts and trying stuff and like talking about like nerding out on metrics and like when's a good time to upload stuff on YouTube, like I kind of miss having that group of people to like, or like throw a video, like it's a 1 minute video, like, you know, is stupid, like, you know, and like having a group, like it does not take long to watch a 1 minute video and tell somebody like, hey, dude, you could do better, you know, like, or so whatever, like, and I kind of miss having that. And so I would like among lots of things, that would be like one of the cool things to have like a podcaster streamer community, on top of like just the nerdy stuff, you know, just because it's nice having people around that do the same things you do and are into the things and deal with the bullshit that like, and especially if it's like very specific, weird, like comic industry bullshit or audio streaming or video streaming bullshit, you know, like if people are like, oh yeah, like I've, you know, like latency issues, blah, 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 wires, you know, or whatever, you know, like, I hate that marker too, or I don't know, you know, like, but it's just like, when you find someone that like I'm not the only one, like that's a good feeling when you realize you're like not the only one. And so
for sure,
having good people in your corner, especially like in a good industry people in your corner too, whatever niche you're in is incredibly helpful. That's probably one of the reasons why I have very encouraged, like I have a family that's very encouraging and supportive, and I have friends that do the same, and this community is like had my back several times and you know, treated me very well. So it's, you know, it's it adds that, like you said though, it's like part of it's that guilt though. It's like I can't let these people down, you know. And so there's
it's definitely hard to say no to people, like because again you and I have that fear of missing out where I want to do everything, but like again, you only have so much time, so much capacity and like brain power and energy. It's just like there's sometimes like I know like one of the big things, like people ask me to read their stuff all the time, but I'm just like unless it's coming through ASAP, I don't have a ton of time. Can't just edit your stuff. It's just like that requires like a very much like certain like focus where I have to actually like sit down and do like a lot of the stuff I can kind of do like I can do stuff on my phone while my kids are like burning down the house. I'm just like, yeah, just a second. We'll put it out in a few minutes.
Smoke, right?
yeah. There's the fire extinguisher. Just it's my 4-year-old. Can you imagine? But my 2-year-old, yeah, my 2-year-old would be like loving it, just rolling in all of. I don't even know what it is, like the CO2 or CO.
Oh, the dust. Yeah, I have no idea what it is. Yeah.
I know what it is. Foam. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely like it's hard to not want to do everything, but you can't.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is true. You gotta learn to say no, which I still have huge problems with. That's why Laurie's on right now. I'm so joking.
No, it's so funny because I've seen because you actually appreciate how transparent you are with like some of the stuff where it's just like obviously you love it, but like it's stressful. There's stressful days you do take on too much. It's overwhelming. And I know I've seen some of your stuff. I'm like, should I message him and say never mind? But at the same time, I'm like very selfish. I'm like, no, I need to promote this. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna burn him out.
No, I'm someone. So I would consider them a friend. They messaged me the other day and they were like, hey, you don't have to worry about like doing our Planet Comic-Con interview. And I was like, fuck you. Yeah, I do. I was like, you're like. You know, I mean, I got a lot of goods. I think it's going to end up, I got busy and stretched out, but I got a lot of real good interviews at Planet Comic-Con. And like, if I would have put them all out 2 weeks after the show, that was a lot of work for like, and then on top of that, like I've had all these other shows since the con. And so I don't think it matters. I think petering it out over time is fine, but anyways, yeah, I probably need to be careful. I need like another burner account. I need a Venn account where I can just like be like, get out there and be like, comics fucking suck, man. And it's no one tells you you chase your dream and you catch it and God shits on you. Like no one tells you that. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm not, but
kidding.
But yeah, I'm kidding. I think there's I do have people that my sister is one of them. My sister tells me a lot. I think you're stupid for how much you get paid and how much work you do. But I do think I think there's sacrifices and trade-offs when I do have a pretty cool job and it does stress me out a lot, but I have a pretty cool job and I don't, the idea of something else terrible that I hate and still I think every job is going to suck, right? I mean, like it's a job, like none of us want to work. Like if we didn't have to work, very few of us would work, like, and so, I think there's a trade-off and I keep telling myself, and I'm an idiot. I don't know, but I feel like,
hey, I'm doing it too.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask, like, do you have like, is this is ASAP your day job, or do you have like another?
So it's more like, so I'm a stay-at-home mom. My partner works full time, so he's like, I used to work like full time, and like I was in like the 9 to 5 accounting world and oil and gas. So it was very like, I do not want to go back there. Freelance stay-at-home momming, and it was one of those things where I'm like, do I go back to work? But then like basically all my income just goes into childcare because childcare is not like
nuts,
super cheap at all. So I've been doing like the stay-at-home mom thing, and then like the ASAP thing is like, it's technically a part-time job, but it probably has a full-time amount of work. And we're still like a startup and stuff. So it's like. It depends on your definition of a startup. I think in like tech, it's like 2 years, but like comics, like 3.5. I think you're still takes a while to like get that momentum and stuff. So I still call it a startup. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where once my kids are like in school full time, like of course I would love this to like just go for it and like hit that like moment, like that tipping point where all of a sudden it's just like everyone knows about our stuff. We're just doing like crazy sales and all that stuff. Like we're huge. But it does take a while. Obviously, like we're all over the world, but it's like it's literally like one reader at a time. Like there's no easy way to do it other than like gaining one fan at a time, one person to read your comic book. I wish there was a quick way to do it, but like it's like that whole overnight success story. Like they aren't actually a thing because you just don't see all of the work they do up front. So of course I would love this, like when my kids go to school, to like if this could just be my full-time job. But I am aware that like maybe it can't be, like it's just gone a little slower, and like I need to pay some bills or help pay some bills, or like help just like kids are expensive and like living is expensive. Like inflation here is awful. So at some point maybe I could go back, but I'll always do this. Like, I love it.
Nice.
And I would like to keep, like I said, like I would love if it could be my main thing. Like obviously like momming is still my main thing, but like if this could be my main thing, like that would be incredible. And Hades, it's his main thing. So we're going for it. Like we're all in, and like I've always joked that I'm a lifer for it. So that's the plan, because I don't know, I've drank the Kool-Aid and there's no turning back now.
That's how I feel. Like I drank a lot of Kool-Aid over the last year. I feel like I'm fucking pissing sugar, Lauren. Like God.
Yeah,
it's freezing instantly. No, like look at that comeback.
Full circle, back to the Pisticles.
Oh my God. But I know I've this is chatting with you, so I'm so glad we finally got to do this. Like I said, I've known you for a while now.
I've been stalking you for ages. Finally, I'm like, I can go talk to Blake.
Well, honestly, like I'll always try, like future stuff you guys do at ASAP, like, and honest, you know, I'm with Geek Network too, you know, so like if we can't, hopefully once the network gets done, we can like help you get interviews and stuff too. But you know, I mean, at least I've read your stuff. It's good. I'd be happy to shout it out on the network and stuff for campaigns and stuff if you guys need it. You know, so just talk to us. Yeah. Talk to us down the road. On that note, like, where's the best place to like keep track of you and ASAP? Like, where do we follow you guys?
So social media, ASAP is ASAP Imagination everywhere. Like Hades was very consistent with that. I have not been so consistent with that. My handle is different on every single social media platform. One day I should fix it, but for some reason, like, I don't know, I never do. But I'm on Twitter. Twitter's my main thing still. It's like at LAURCUNN. And then I'm on Instagram, but I have a link tree on Twitter. Just go there. You can find it all. And I also have a website, which maybe is like if you Google me, my website pops up, like lacunningham.com, and asapimagination.com is obviously, you can find us there as well. So everything ASAP leads, like we're very interconnected. So like Hades runs the ASAP accounts. So like we're like always tagging each other, and
okay.
So if you find it, you'll find me eventually. Yeah. Nice. I don't make it. I play hard to get, but I'm not like actually that hard to find.
By the way, we got 4GQ TV popped in saying, I got an amazing guest. I agree. It was a great chat, Lauren. She said the most important thing is having fun with what you do. Yes, even when it gets stressful, even in the bad days, there are way more good moments than bad. And then like then I get opportunities like these too. I get to go live, blow off steam, talk comics, talk with great, awesome people that are dealing with the same kind of weird bullshit I am. Right. So it's awesome. Yeah. It's nice. It's cathartic. I like it, but no, I really am. I know I complain. I know I know I don't deal with stress well, and but I do love I love every bit of it. Like I wake up every day, know I'm lucky. I go to bed too exhausted to think straight, but I wake up knowing I'm lucky. I swear, and I just get aggravated sometimes. Like everybody does. I'm human.
Yeah.
You know, but I do love it, and I love doing this, and I'm not going anywhere ever. Probably I'm gonna be some fucking old ass dude live streaming. I probably won't even be live streaming. Then I'll be like I'll have like Apple sets jacked into our eyeballs. Like I'll be like. Yeah. I'll still look like this when I'm 80. I'll like project my peak internet streamer self into your psyche. We'll still be doing this later. Anyway, but yeah, it was so fun chatting. I'm so glad the Kickstarter is going well. I hope it ends well for you. I hope you guys keep doing this. Like I said, it's a fun, creepy world, and it's rich with possibility as you've shown. Like you can do so much with it, and you've all done a lot with it in 3 years. So very cool to see what else you guys can do going forward. Check out ASAP Publishing. Check out this. It's something villainy. Oh my God. I'm scrolling. Oh my God. I'm all the way at the bottom of the Kickstarter page. Oh, there it is. What is it? The Complete Points of Villainy. I'm sorry. Check out the Complete Points of Villainy on Kickstarter. There's links everywhere. Follow everybody. Follow ASAP. They're a really cool publisher. They're run by really cool people, and they're doing cool things, making awesome books. All right, unless you got anything else left to say, I will play the music and set you free.
No, play it up. Play us out.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Then I'm taking a couple nights off, but we'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you then.